All right, here we go with an article critique, The Touched by Kajetan Writes. It's interesting here to have this map at the top, but article looking pretty good here. Nice graphic. So I'll turn off my music. Okay, touched are humans with magical abilities who have powers from the Savior. It is said that the first touched were created by this Savior at the time of the falling. Today, most of the touched serve the Church of the Savior as high bishops, bodyguard, and agent. Okay. For a common person, becoming touched is shrouded in mystery. Some people claim that it is hereditary, while others say that touched are created by the high bishop through whom the Savior acts and speaks. In reality, both those claims are true. Once every 5 years, the high bishop organizes a ceremony during which novices become touched. However, it isn't done by the high bishop himself. Novices enter a chamber which is said to be we got a double two right there, to be the tomb of the Savior's material body. It is said that through the body the Savior grants novices power. When a touched has a child, there is a possibility that the child would inherit the powers. However, it can't be determined what are the requirements. Okay. Powers: strength, lifespan, bolt of lightning, teleportation. Apart from these powers, which are innate, the touch have many spells related not only to divine magic. Okay. So I do like the picture, but it has nothing to do with this article. If this is a more global picture for the whole world and representative of something, kind of like what I do in my world, I just have the title of the world with a picture behind it. But if you choose, it's a picture for the whole world. Fair enough. Okay. So we have a little bit of some grammar recommendations. Is, of course, I like shorter sentences. Touched are humans with magical abilities. Period. They have their powers. They have received their powers from the Savior. Okay. You may want to highlight that if you have it. Bold text or links to drafts. Okay, so I'm not seeing those links yet, but okay, good. All right. It is said the first touch were created by the Savior at the time of the falling. All right. Today, most touch serve the Church of the Savior as high bishops or the high bishops, bodyguards and agents. Okay, so question, is high bishop a name or a title? Because I'm getting a lot of, you know, high bishop equals pope. Okay, yeah. So as the high bishops, bodyguards, and angels, because if you put in that definitive article before the noun, the proper noun, it flows a little bit better, because as high bishops, bodyguard, without that definitive article of the high bishops, it's like high is the title and bishop is the name, as opposed to like Mr. Bishop. Here's Mr. Bishop. Here's High Bishop, as opposed to the High Bishop. Okay. bodyguards and agents. Okay, becoming touched. For a common person, you need to have a comma in there. Let me just turn on my pencil, which I always think is so funny to say. Let's zoom in a little bit. No, I don't want to stop the stream. Oh, it's looking at the wrong. Yeah. There we go. Okay. All right. For okay, for a common person, becoming touched is shrouded in mystery. Okay. We need to simplify this sentence a little bit. Okay. Hey, Tillers, the ducks have arrived. Okay, so becoming touched is shrouded in mystery. Okay. All right, what is shrouded in mystery right here? Okay, we need to clarify what is being shrouded in mystery, because becoming seems to be right. Your your verb is the word is. Okay, or is shrouded is what is happening. So okay, becoming is how someone becomes touched. So for a common person, becoming touched is shrouded in mystery. Now you could just put a comma. You could just put a comma in there. For a common person, becoming touched is shrouded in mystery. Or you could rewrite it a little bit and say the process for a common person to become touched is shrouded in mystery. Okay, so instead of implying what the subject of the sentence is in this way, you come out and definitively say the process. Yeah. Oh, Lathan said, yeah, the process of being touched. Yeah. So that way, it reads a little faster. It lowers the complexity of the sentence because you have a definitive subject that is being acted upon by the verb of the sentence. For a common person, comma, the process of becoming touched is shrouded in mystery. Excellent. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, some people claim that it is hereditary, while others say that touched are created by the high bishop through whom the Savior acts and speaks. Okay, now I like this information that is being provided, but it is really long, and we are talking about two different things. Again, one sentence, one subject. Because the first topic is it's hereditary. Okay, great. Other people are created. Great, those are related. But then you bring in the concept that the bishop is the person through whom the Savior acts and speaks. Different topic. So I would suggest that, it's crowded in mystery. Okay, some people claim that it's hereditary, while others say that they are created by the high bishop. Period. Okay. The high bishop, through whom the Savior acts and speaks. Okay. And somehow I would recommend that you move the idea of the bishop, the high bishop, being through whom the Savior acts and speaks, as a separate sentence somewhere. A touched, or one of the touched. Yeah, you could really. Yeah, I would agree that adding an article in there, like a touched or the touched, could help as well. I would probably use touched because there's lots of them. Well, the touched. Hmm. Actually, no. If you're talking about the group, if you're talking about a group, I would say call this the touched. Okay? And then when you're referring to the group, this is, you're referring to a group, you're talking about the touched. But when you're talking about one specific touched, you're talking about a touched for one person. This is your individual. Okay? Because when you look at this article header that we have here, touched, most of the times when you think of this word touched, you're thinking of the verb to touch, or the past tense of touched. And we're not thinking of it as a noun that we are having that in this context. So by adding the touched, it converts touch from a verb to a noun so that it makes more sense as a title of this species that you've created here. And then, of course, then I would say the touched are human beings with magical abilities who have their powers from the Savior. Okay. But see here, this is a good thing. You have the touched here. You're calling it the first touch, but you have that definitive article there as well. So that is a good thing right there. Do you have any other questions, Kajutan, that you'd like me to comment on? Okay, you're thinking about what to add to the article. All right. As with species, um, uh, it's good that, yeah, I think what you have here is really good as a starting, because you're talking about how they became touched. You are implying other things here as they have powers. You could talk about, okay, see here again, you're using the touched. Good job. I like that. You could expand this out as you would any ethnic group that where do they live? Do what are their role? Okay, so here We have the High Bishop. You still need to figure out the magic system. Oh, okay. Well, let's talk about you could talk about their relationship to the Church of the Savior and their high bishops, bodyguards, and agents. Okay, so there we have two roles that they are specified. What does it mean to be a bodyguard? Kind of obvious. But what does it also mean to be an agent? And Lathan's suggestion, how to make them different from normal humans. I think you've started that with the powers here. Um, but is there another physical transformation? Because when you go into the okay, you have these novices. What is a novice? Okay. I don't think touched are a culture. Most touched were born as humans in many cultures. That is a fair statement. But let me provide a counterpoint. Careers. All right. You can be a computer programmer. You can be a real estate agent. You could be many different. You can pick a career. Twitch streamer. And once you become that profession, you become a part of a subculture. Like us as authors, as creative, as world builders, we have developed a subculture where we have, like Dazzlecat, we've found each other and we have our own language. We have our own habits. We have our own holidays. It's called NaNoWriMo. We have our own subculture, and see that's what you can talk about as not maybe not to the extreme of an ethnicity, but you can talk about the culture that the touched then become in involved with, because um, if you become a computer programmer, you start going to computer programming conventions. You have your own language. Um, you have a lot of different things that are just specific to being a computer programmer. Simply being touched will change their day-to-day lives in what they can do and how people interact with them. Excellent point, Lathan. And Kajetan, what you could explain is how has their daily life changed? Because they could have been raised as a farmer. They could have been raised as the son or daughter of a storekeeper. What happened? How has their life changed? Are they now you talk about novices. Is a novice like being an apprentice? How has that happened? Do are When they say that they most of the touch serve the Church of the Savior. Okay, what about the touched who don't? Say that there is a touch who is born that doesn't feel particularly religious and wants to become an adventurer or whatnot. Okay, so there's a lot of things that you could do with that, expanding it out. And all right, and you saying being touched in many cultures. How many high bishops are there? You said high bishop equals pope. Okay. Are there plain bishops that serve congregations? Okay, there's one high bishop. Well, what are there other low bishops? I don't know what term you would want to say. And if they are there, like there's cardinals in the Catholic Church and then there's um, all of the different levels of cardinals, bishops, priests, things like that. Do the touched serve others as well? because you have the Swiss Guard who serve as the protectors of the Pope in the Vatican City. So are the touched similar to the Swiss Guard, and are they ever sent out on missions or positions or stationed with other low bishops to be able to protect them as well? Okay. And yes, Lathan, those bodyguards will have their own culture, like uniforms, hierarchy, etc. Excellent point. And if you have your bodyguards, but you have your agents as well, could agents be considered like the diplomats? Because we have in the United States, we have the military, but we also have the State Department where we have the diplomats, yep, spies, we ambassadors, and those who assist in political means. So you have the physical strength of the high bishop, but you also have the political strength of the high bishop's agents. And of course, they would have a completely separate culture as well. Um, you could also see how are people treated when they become touched. I just finished watching The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Wonderful series. Wonderful series. And it talks a lot about, you know, Captain America and the symbol of the shield and the passing of the shield and the symbolism behind it. Poof. Don't know what you mean by that. Um, I wasn't giving anything away, but you could compare the touched with Steve Rogers of Captain America. They become stronger, they become faster, they are able to do magic because that shield does not obey the laws of physics. But and you so how are the people who treated Captain America differently because of his now super soldier serum, whether it be with adoration or vindication, like Nemo, Zemo, not Nemo, Finding Nemo, Zemo, and this is back from Civil War. Zemo hated the Avengers, and so he strived to destroy the Avengers, and that because he doesn't like enhanced individuals. But then there are other people who love enhanced individuals. So how do the people react to the touched? And are there organizations to support or to go against them? So whether all of that information appears in this article or in subsequent articles, I think is up to your choice. Is your choice. Okay. Anything else? Okay. Well, I'm glad that you liked. I hope. Thank you for sharing this article with us. And yeah, keep expanding it. Definitely keep expanding.